The flea market is back, Bleminick, and so is the tyranny of the super duper ultra mega sweats. This has been one of our favorite early webs of all time, Bleminick, brought in part by the limiting of the flea market to the first few weeks of the web. Now you might be asking, Bleminick,
Uncle Josivan, why would they do this? Why would Battle State Games take away my flea market?
and it was for a few reasons, Bleminick. I think the first one was to fix the progression issues that happened in the last wipe. In last wipe, people like Custitodes, they were like max traders and like had a full-blown hideout in like the first week or two of wipe. And like they were already getting kappa. We also suspect one of the reasons that they did this was to experiment, you know? Escape from Tarkov is still in beta testing game and it has been for its entire life. They've never done a full release. Once they do a full release, they won't be doing beta testing no more. But for now, you know, they gotta see how is the player base gonna react? What's the player base gonna like, you know? If we make these changes, if we change the way the game is, you know, what can we expect? What if we change it to like a partner only? You know, what if we change Flea Market? One wipe to just totally gone? Or what if we had like a limit on how much you're able to spend on the flea market one wipe, you know? They're gathering information for future iterations. You know, maybe even for the full release, or even how wipes are gonna go once the game is released. We also think that limiting the flea market is gonna bring the game closer to its final gameplay experience. You know, how it's gonna feel when the game is fully released. Nikita has said that the game is not currently in its intended playthrough experience yet, and we suspect that changes like this will probably bring the community closer to accepting what the final loop of the game will feel like. Now with all that said, Bleminick, now you're probably asking,
But did it even work? Are those even the reasons why they should be getting rid of my flea market? Give me my flea market back!
and you know, we gotta say, it worked great. Honestly, Uncle Josivan would love to see a flea market free wipe. You know, if they did one whole wipe with no flea market, we'd love to see it. That's how well we think it worked. We know you're getting the flea market back now, but is that really the best thing? The progression issues that haunted last wipe, they're gone, Bleminick. They're gone. It's totally back to normal. One thing that removing the flea market did as a bit of a side effect was close the gap between players who are like high skill and low skill, because now the high skill players don't have access to that super meta kit. And you know, one of the things that makes a high skill player is the knowledge, you know, the knowledge of what items to use, how to build your guns, you know, what armor to use, how penetration works. You know, they don't have access to those top tier items anymore. And now, you know, it's just clicking on heads, you know, and anybody can click on the head, just like you can click that subscribe button, right? Our little wipe now is as scrappy as it should be. We're just about 3 weeks into wipe now, and we're still getting shot at by like Kedders and SKS and like a whole bunch of other crappy guns. Oh, let me know. This is how early wipe is supposed to be, you know, real scrappy. You know, everybody on the line of poverty, or, you know, not poverty. The feedback from the community would also lead us to conclude that this was overwhelmingly a success, you know. It's been very positive feedback. Most of the people really like getting rid of the flea market, so they're not getting killed by super duper ultra mega sweats who've got like a meta stuff right at the beginning of wipe, just because, you know, they ground out level 15 and they stashed a whole bunch of rubles, and you know, now they're going out with their high tier guns and ammo and super duper body armor and like, you know, laying waste to all the casual players. Now the playing field is a little bit more level. You know, you still got the max traders, you know, but it's a lot harder to do. Oh, it's a lot harder to do, Bleminick. The game absolutely feels better now, you know. It's more about survival, and it's less about getting as many kills as you possibly can. And to be honest, this should be what it's about, Bleminick. In Uncle Josivan's opinion, the coolest part about Tarkov isn't about getting all the kills. The coolest part about Tarkov is, you know, getting out of raid. You know, surviving. You know, if you get like 25 kills and you die in the middle of the raid, is that really gonna be that great? Is it as good as, you know, maybe getting like 4 or 5 scav kills, no player kills, and like actually getting some sick stuff out of raid? That's way better. Oh, Bleminick, you know, that's the kind of gameplay loop we want, you know. Suppressors now being harder to come by, also make it so that PvP is more of an optional part of the game, which is interesting, you know, even though it's the PvP mode, you know. You can escape PvP because you know when they're coming. You know where the fights are at. Airwing Marine actually had a really great post on X regarding this whole situation. It actually sums up Uncle Josivan's thoughts on the matter very, very, very well. He says, I think the core of why people are enjoying this wipe comes to player agency. No Flea and FIR hideout requirement forces players to make important choices in every raid. Things like, do you get out with your loot for the hideout, or do you get that quest item? Do you take this guy's gun and gear, or do I take those 2 hoses he had on him? Do I run customs because I need to do tasks, or do I go interchange because I need drills for my hideout? Players making these decisions make raids more and give way more value to the game time. Instead of our fate being driven purely by rubles and if we survive or not, the decisions in each raid push us down a different path of progression that is our choice, not the meta. You know, Josivan really hates when there's like a narrow path to the meta. You know, when the gameplay is wide and open, the freedom of choice in the game is realistic and not dictated by the meta. You know, he goes on to say, I nearly have full hideout, but I'm underlevel compared to other streamers. Some folks are already max traders, but barely have 2 modules started. These are differences that are making this wipe special, in my opinion. On top of that, the gear restrictions caused by this have made engagements far more interesting. Combinations of scrappy armor with good plates, mostly bad ammo, and the lack of suppressors. Jeez, his punctuation is really terrible. I could write a whole post on how suppressors impact Tarkov negatively, with how they are implemented and how to fix those issues. But this little test has really shown how they impact the game. There are still plenty of improvements that can be made, but man, does the game feel really good right now. And that was on January 2nd. We're recording this video 10 days later. And you know, he's right, Bleminic. Oh, totally. We feel that sentiment. And honestly, kinda wish they'd keep the flea market away this way. They already extended it 5 days because the community was so happy with how it was going. Honestly, just get rid of it, Nikita. Get rid of it, you know? People like Glorious E have said that they think the game will die. Actually, let's get that quote here. Twitter. Glorious E, says, seriously, Nikita, don't remove Flea. But if you do, at least let us pick the locks or shoot the lock off the door and give us unlimited labs keycards back. My take, the game will die if they remove Flea. And all the work they did with the Flea goes to waste. Nikita responds by saying he doesn't intend on removing the Flea. That's what we're saying next year, you know? We know they're not gonna remove Flea market. There's so many people who will just leave the game because they can't get their favorite gun or they can't chase the meta as hard as they would like to. So what we propose as, sort of like a compromise with those people is, what if we just change the flea market, Blemmin? What if we just changed it up? What if instead of just, rubles for guns or whatever, what if it was barter only with FIR items, you know? That would actually be kind of cool, you know? Then, getting out of raid with your found in raid, like, pack of 18 wires, you'd be like, oh, thank goodness, I got out with my 18 wires. Now I can trade these found in raid items for, like, the meta M4 build that I was looking for, you know? If people could, like, make trade offers on the flea market, oh, that'd be so cool, Bleminek. Oh, jeez. Honestly, this is the meat of the video right here. This is our whole point. If they change the flea market to something different, maybe even if you could limit the amount of rubles that you spend per day, or maybe incorporate the meta point system from Escape from Tarkov Arena, and only be able to purchase so many meta points worth of stuff per day. That'd be kind of interesting too. We would like to see limits put on the flea market, just like there's limits on the traders. You can only buy so much from the traders until the restock. Maybe the same thing should be done for the flea market as well. Now, we're not going to touch on the FIR status only. That's going to be its own separate video topic. We can do that a little bit later because the wipe is going to be longer than the locking of the flea market. But we wanted to make sure this one was out for the unlocking day of the flea market. So if we're a little bit late, that's fine. That's fine. But we wanted this to be fresh in everyone's minds when we're talking about it, So that you could tell us in the comments section what you think. What should they do? Should they just bring back the flea market with no restrictions? Or should they implement like really, really heavy-duty restrictions? Or maybe should every wipe just come with a block on the flea market for a few weeks? Personally, Uncle 7 thinks that they should bring back the flea market differently than before it went away. Maybe each wipe should have something different. Like, each wipe should be like a different season, This season we're doing barter items only. Next season we're doing discounted flea market. The season after that, you can only sell things that the other traders are selling. Or something, something wacky to mix it up a bit, That's just the game, They can change it as much as they want. So let us know in the comments down below what you think. Honestly, Pleminek, we really like the block on the flea market. Just like you liked the video, right? Haha! Now, if you're looking for more information about Tarkov, Swipe, and, anything else, feel free to subscribe so you can come back for more videos, and like the video so it gets shared with more people in the algorithm. We stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. So be sure to follow us on those platforms so that you know when to come back for more. You know, you get the notification, you come hang out with Uncle Josivan. Maybe you join the Discord so that you can run a raid with him. You know, we'll see what's up, Lemonic. We'll see what's up. But until then, we love you, and woobly, we'll see you next time.